what's up, guys? It's your boy, the GUIDO, and this week we're back with a really cool video. We're continuing this theme, this series of interviews inside of the Academy Roleplay server for GTA V. This week we talked to Deputy Chief, the newly appointed Deputy Chief, Brad Lee, and he just kind of tells us the ins and outs of his experience inside the server, what it's like behind the scenes and being the Deputy Chief, and he tells some pretty funny stories too, man. You're just gonna have to check it out. Before we get into the video though, if you are interested in being a part of the Academy Roleplay server, or maybe you're looking for a GTA roleplay server to be a part of, man, come check us out. There's actually a link right here. Click this link. It'll also be inside the description of this video. We'd love for you to come and hang out with us. Also, if you enjoy the content, will you hit the subscribe button before you leave? Also, leave a comment for me. Even if you don't have a comment, man, put an emoji, put something. Let me know that you stopped by to hang out with us. All right, let's jump into the video. I know you're gonna love it. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Not bad, man. How are you?
I'm good. You ready? You excited?
Oh yeah.
How you feeling, man? You nervous? All these folks here to check out what you got to say. How you feeling about that, dog?
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm quite nervous.
No, don't be nervous, man. Hey, we're gonna have a good time. It's just like, man, we're just hanging out in the city, shooting the breeze. That's gonna be a good time, man. Hey, so you ever been like, so, you know, I call, so how this, I don't call, but how this kind of works normally is I'll shoot you like a message. I'm like, hey, man, are you interested in maybe jumping into this interview? And your reaction is a lot like everybody else's. Is like, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah.
And so, especially we're trying to kind of build, so people are kind of getting used to this idea of getting interviewed. What do you think? Like, what were you thinking? Like when I was like, yo, I want to interview you. Like, what was your initial thoughts on that?
Quite honestly, you asked me and I was like, so what is it about, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and you sent me a clip of I think it was Lil Diaper's interview.
Yeah.
And I watched it again and whatnot like that, and I said, man, I don't know if I should do this. I said, I don't know if I'm cut out.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm watching. I know that you said you weren't going to read the chat, so don't do that. I am watching the chat, and you were right, man. They were surprised at how you look, man. And I think, to me, that's one of the coolest parts about this is we see characters, and then we see the person behind the character, and it's so hard to like differentiate between the two. It's crazy. So.
Oh no, I mean, I agree. I mean, I kind of knew what Ricky looked like and whatnot like that, but I've never seen Aiden before.
Yeah.
You know, every time I see him in the city now, I just get that picture of, you know, the first time I saw him, you know, what he actually looks like. So it's crazy.
And that to me is it's one of my favorite parts is right before the interview, we jump onto a camera and we're just checking sound, making sure we're good. And normally, like, that's the first time that so far that I've seen a person that I'm interviewing. And so it's always kind of it's a cool part. It's one of the coolest parts for me, man. So I appreciate you jumping in here. I appreciate you hanging out. And man, we're just going to talk a little bit. Let's start here. Tell us about you, man. Tell us about who is Brad and like what's Brad's real name, and just kind of, man, give us the story, bro.
So Brad's real name is Brad.
Nice.
You know, it's kind of lame, I know.
No, it's good.
But I'm 23 years old. I live in Maine. A lot of people say I live in Canada, but I do HVAC heat work, heating and cooling for a full-time job, 5 days a week. On my off time, I really enjoy hunting and fishing, hanging out with friends. I worked public safety since I was 15 years old, so I really enjoyed, you know, going to the fire department after school, after work, whatnot like that. But yeah, that's really just about me.
That's cool. So you were telling me you worked with the fire department, and you did that. You did that for a pretty good bit of time. Like you were really invested in that. Anything you want to share about that? Anything you would, you know, kind of about that what kind of drew you to that? Anything?
So I mean, it was pretty simple for me. Um, I grew up. My father was a firefighter for 38 years, so I grew up around it. Every parade there was, I was in it. Every weekend, I was at the fire department with him. So, I mean, it was kind of an easy decision for me when I came the age that I could join. I started as a junior firefighter. Um, I worked up to a firefighter. I worked full time for 3 years, I believe it was, at an ambulance service. We did transfers all over the New England. Um, some nights I'd be in Boston. The next night, I was in Connecticut,
Oh
Vermont.
wow, so you're
Um,
moving.
all over the place. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it, but it just wasn't a full time career for me. Um, I wanted something that I was home more, to spend with family and whatnot like that. So that's when I changed my careers up a little bit, and I become what I do now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and so when we were talking earlier, I was saying, because I live in the South. I'm in South Carolina, and it was 90 degrees here today, right? So it was like hot.
yeah,
And so when you said, I do HVAC stuff, I was like, bro, I bet you are like running. And you're like, well, it was only like 50 here where I live today.
yeah. I mean, it was warmer during the day, but I believe right now I think it's like only like 53 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not positive, but it's not warm yet.
Yeah, no, I can't. I mean, I can't even. Like I said, man, down here in the South, dude, it gets hot from like February to November is shorts weather, and then every now
Yeah,
and then it gets cold. So
right.
it's completely opposite for you guys for sure.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's
So
it's
no, go
usually
ahead.
jacket and sweatshirt weather up here.
I got you. I got you. Well, that's my vibe, man. That's kind of my vibe. So I like that.
Right.
What about HVAC stuff, man? How did you get into that? What kind of drew you that way? Were you have a connection, family thing? What kind of drew you into that?
So that's also a family thing as well. My father, I work at the same company he does.
Okay.
He started when he was younger than me. He started when he was 19, I believe. Um, he worked for a company doing that, and then that company actually ended up getting bought out to where we work now. So I kind of grew up around that too. Middle of the night as a kid, I'd jump in a service van with him and go on a call with him or whatever like that. And um, when I was looking for a career change, and that was something that really interested me.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew it. So it was a little bit easier for me to get into that field and start doing it, whatnot like that. Um, but right now, I'm currently actually in propane school. I'll be in propane school for all summer long.
Okay.
Um, so I do that 5 days a week right now. I'm not actually hands on working, so just listening.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, very cool. Very cool, brother. All right. You ready to play a game? We're gonna play a
Yeah,
game. You pumped up
let's do
about
it.
it? All right.
Let's
So
do it.
here's what I'm gonna do. This is kind of like a let's get to know Brad kind of a game. So rapid fire, don't think about it. I'm gonna ask you some questions and you just answer them back to me, okay?
Yep.
All right, you ready for it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. What's your favorite TV show?
Yellowstone.
Okay, that's a great one. If you could be any animal, what would it be and why?
A dog, because I get to sleep all day.
Okay. What's the best compliment that you have ever gotten?
Oh, man. You told me not to think, but
I'm sorry.
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
know.
Yeah, don't think about it. Just like something somebody good has said to you.
Skip that one. I don't
Okay,
know.
I got you. All right. When you meet somebody, what's the first thing that you notice about them?
Oh man. I don't know. I mean, facial. I don't. I
Okay.
mean,
All
what they
right.
look like. I
Yeah,
don't.
no, that's cool. Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate,
What's your favorite color?
blue,
If you could choose, would you go to a sunrise or a sunset?
sunset.
All right. Let's see. Do you have any tattoos?
I have two.
Two? Any stories behind those?
I have one that's on my arm for my grandmother.
Okay. All right. Very cool. What is the? Let's see. Do you consider yourself to be a fun person or a boring person?
Think I'm fun. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
That's
All
for
right.
them to decide.
I got you. I got you. When are you the happiest? Like, what are you doing when you find yourself? You're like, man, I'm really happy doing this.
Man, as weird as it sounds, long day of work, the happiest I am is when I sit down on my computer and log into the city. You
Yep.
know, that's just my happy time, kind of escape from the world, just hang out, relax. I really enjoy doing that. So
Okay.
that's why you see me in about every night.
I got you. I got you. Very cool. All right. On a scale of 1 to 10, you got to be honest.
Yep.
How good are you at keeping secrets?
Oh man, probably like an 8.
Okay. All right. Tell us the secret now. I'm just kidding. Don't. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. All right. Give me one. I'll give you one more. I'll give you one more. Um, let's see. In school, what was your best subject? Like when you were in school, what was your best subject?
Shop class.
Shop. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you build when you were doing shop class that was like dope? You were like, yo, this is the jam right
We
here.
one year they let us build whatever we wanted. So two of my buddies we built an ice shack together for ice fishing.
Oh,
And
okay.
the deal was we had to buy it from the school, but we only paid like $200 all said and done, so it was worth it.
Nice, man. Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool. Awesome, bro. Well, very cool. Well, all right. So, happy place is the city. Let's jump into that, man.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about TARP. Let's talk about the Academy. Tell me, kind of share, how did you get into that? How did you get into uh, the Academy? What brought you into the city, bro?
So, I've always been a huge fan of 5M. I've watched 5M on YouTube and Twitch for a long time. So one night I didn't know who to watch, so I was scrolling through Twitch, through the Grand Theft Auto tab, and Tony Tony popped up. So I watched his stream. This was back when before the server was actually around.
Okay.
Um, he was doing a patrol with his K9 Cheddar that he had at the time.
Okay.
So I watched him. I followed him. Then every time he went live, I watched him again. Um, so I didn't actually have a computer at the time, but the server opened up, and I was like, man, I gotta apply. So I applied. I got accepted. I said, well, this is real. I gotta buy a computer now. So I went out and I bought a computer. I bought one monitor, a computer, and just a mouse and keyboard. Just a generic setup. I didn't even have a desk. I was using a white folding table at the
Nice.
time.
Okay.
Just to get set up, see if I liked it. So I joined the server. I really like Tony's message from my background, in public safety. So I kind of felt it fit me. Um, so I joined the server. Um, Someone showed me around, and I got hooked up with a group of friends in there that I still call friends. We all
Yeah.
kind of gone our separate ways. But I met up with a group of friends in there. I enjoyed it. I got hooked instantly. So fast forward, it was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks of being in the server. I mean, the fire department was open up for application, so um, I knew I could do that because I used to do it. So
Yeah.
I applied in there. I said I'll do this. So I applied in there, and I got accepted. Um, I did that for quite a while. I went up through the ranks. I started as a cadet. When I retired from the fire department in there, I was a battalion chief.
Nice. Okay.
Um, so I played in there a lot. I played in there about every single night. Before I got done there, I said to myself, well, I always, growing up, I kind of wanted to be a cop as well. I mean, public safety always interests me. Working with cops all the time on scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I applied. BCSO was hiring, so I applied for BCSO, and Willard was the sheriff at the time,
Okay.
um, as he still is, and he accepted me in. He was like, "All right, man, phase one is starting tonight. You better hurry up and jump in." I said, "Man, I just got accepted."
Yeah.
So I jumped in there. I went through the training process and whatever like that, and it was a great time. I loved it. Um, it was a great department to work for. All the guys there really respectful and nice, and
Sure.
um, but LSPD opened up. Um, they went through their hiring process and whatnot like that. They got their first round of cadets out on the road, which I believe you were in that.
I was, yeah, I was in
You're in
that.
the very
I was
first,
in that
yeah.
original set. Yeah.
Yeah, so they got their cadets out on the road and whatnot. Fast forward a couple weeks of them being on the road, or maybe it was like a month, I'm not sure. Um, LSPD opened up transfers.
Okay.
Um, as soon as they opened up transfers, I knew, I needed a different pace, a little bit different view. I had an image in my mind. I wanted to go down to LSPD and help them grow as a department.
Right.
Um, I saw that they didn't have very many people down there. At the time, I mean, there's only a couple of y'all that were active,
Right.
Um, so I felt like, hey, BCSO is a very established department. They're doing very well for themselves. They got a lot of people patrolling every night. Why don't I, see if I can jump down there and kind of help them out and grow? Um, so I put in my transfer request with Willard, and I got accepted as LSPD's very first transfer. So I went down there. I had to do training for one night. I did a ride along. I got let out on my own. So I patrolled as an officer for a little while. Then the opportunity was presented to me to be the lieutenant of investigations down there.
Yeah.
So immediately I hopped on it. Investigations. I mean, that's cool, right? Um, so I jumped down there, up there on investigations, and I really enjoyed it. I was playing in the city every night. Trying to meet people and learn everyone, and just kind of connect with the criminals.
Sure.
Um, which I think I have a pretty good relationship with some of them. I'd like to think.
Yeah.
Then fast forward, um, I don't know, probably 2 months. Um, I got I got asked one night, "Hey man, this is what's going on. Would like you to be the battalion chief." And when they asked me, I was like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was real,
Sure.
but it was kind of weird because I don't know if Willard's in here watching right now, but he was kind of like poking hints at me. Every once in a while, he was like, "Hey man, you'd make a great chief," or this or that. A couple people are just kind of poking at me.
Sure. Sure.
And when they asked it and it really set in, it took me a couple days to really, get it to set in and whatnot like that. And I thought back to that, I was like, they probably knew, way before I did, type of ordeal. Um, so I took that position, um, working under Chief Wolfie, um, and you know, as I know, the department, we're just pushing it along, trying to get stuff better.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Work with you guys, see what you guys need, and just try to build the department. I mean, how do you think it's going?
Yeah, no, I
I
think,
mean,
I think LSPD is obviously it is the newest in law enforcement department in the city. And so it's, uh, we're kind of like that. We're going through those growth stages where, we're learning to walk a little bit because
yeah,
from what I understand, and I think this is true, when they hired that first set of people, none of them had ever been police officers, at least in our city. I know that they had been maybe police officers in other cities, but not in our city. And so, not only are we building an apartment, but a lot of us are learning how to just put handcuffs on people. You know what I mean? So it's like,
right.
and so you're trying to figure all that kind of stuff out. So it's a growing department, but I think that we've kind of grown, and we still will. We
Oh
don't
yeah,
get it right 100% of the time, but we're figuring it out. That's what we do. That's why we're the LSPD
right.
fam, bro.
That's right.
Hey, so tell me this, and I think this is interesting to me. So you just became deputy chief. You and Chief Wolfie just took
Hmm.
those two roles on. So you've been doing that. What has that been? A week, 2 weeks now, something like that.
I believe we're just about 2 weeks
2 weeks
time.
in. So
Actually, I think tomorrow or today is 2 weeks.
okay, so
Uh,
it hasn't been a long time at all. Tell
no,
me this: in taking that role in that position, because the reality is this: a lot of people think, I want to do that. You know what I mean? Like everybody likes the idea of advancement and those kind of things, which is dope, and I think you should. Tell me this, what is one thing that surprised you most about taking that role that you really didn't think about and you're like, bro, I didn't realize that was going to be part of it. Or I didn't realize that was going to be that difficult. Is there anything like that?
Yeah, so I mean, as any role, the higher you go and whatnot like that, you have more of the back end stuff to do.
Right.
So I really didn't imagine myself. I imagined myself being in the city every single night, playing like I did and everything like that. Since I took on this role, I mean, we're revamping a lot of different things. So with that, it comes a lot of the back end stuff.
Sure.
So most nights you can catch myself and Mikey or a couple others in, the Chief's office and Discord, chatting what we're gonna do and whatnot like that. So what really surprised me was how much time and effort I was really gonna put into it.
Sure.
I knew I was up for the challenge and I wanted to do it. But at the end of the day, I didn't think it was gonna be as much as it was. But I now looking at it with how much it is, I love every bit of it.
Yeah.
I like the backside of stuff. Figuring out stuff and building a department. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure Willard could speak for this, or Turtle, or Chief Boomer, or anyone that started or has ran a department in the server. You take a step back at the end of the day, and you can say, "I did that." I helped do that,
Yeah.
and that's what makes it worthwhile. If you look from where, let's say, LSPD started when we took over, and by the time we get it to where we want it, and if you take the step back, it's worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Um, and it's fun. Connecting with the people and figuring out what they need is, I enjoy it.
Yeah. Very cool. Chief just said in the chat, the greatest challenge is having to talk to him every day.
Yeah, I mean, that is very true. um I did ask him the other night. I asked him, I said, "Can I have a night off from talking to you, please?" And it ended up to be, we didn't have the night off from talking from each other.
Yeah,
um,
absolutely.
but at the end of the day, I like every bit of it so far.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Tell me this. You are obviously you're in the LSPD. You are the deputy chief, but you've played a lot of different roles, man. You've obviously you were in the fire department. You've got some crim characters too, so you got some stories, man. There's some stories that you got about being in the city. Man, what? Give me some of that. What's like? What's one of the funniest moments or the most memorable moments or a couple of those things that like tell that story, what that looked like, why it was so funny or why it was so memorable.
So he's gonna hate me for saying this because it's fresh in my head.
I got
So
you.
I'm still laughing about it. It may not be as funny to some, but you had to be there. So the other night, Mikey come into the server. I was getting them all set up, whatnot like that. He finally had some time to jump in and hang out and whatnot. We went to go get his uniform on, and he was like, "Man, I don't like these boots. I got to change my shoes. I want some like dress shoes,
Okay, all right.
like something more blingy."
Yeah.
And I said, "All right." So we go down to the clothing store, and he's in there doing his thing, trying to learn how to, where to get his clothes and whatnot like that. And I yelled at him. I was like, "It's not the lady in there." And so he figures it out. We get going. He comes back out, and LSPD was in a pursuit at that time that actually ended up on Route 13, I believe, up in like Pleto,
Yeah,
or
it was up in Polito.
yeah, somewhere along those
Mm-hmm.
lines. Hostage situation and whatnot like that. So like, oh, we'll run up there, see if they need any help. Um, Ordeal. And coming back from that robbery, we didn't know that BCSO laid out spike strips, and they kind of had like one lane blocked off type ordeal, but they're just all kind of standing there. So like, oh, I didn't think anything of it. So I just went, well, I popped all four tires on the vehicle I was driving. So we
Nice.
pulled over, and we're trying to talk to BCSO like, "Hey, do you guys got a repair kit?" Or stopping other officers on the way by. "You got a repair kit?" type ordeal. So all said and done, we finally got a repair kit from, I think it was a deputy. and they repair the vehicle for us and whatnot like that. We get back in the car and we get driving. Wolfie goes, "Hey man," I said. He goes, "What? I don't think I'm wearing dress shoes." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Let me get out. Let me show you." He shows me. He's wearing like these girl shoes. It looks like, right? Like I don't know what you'd call them, like slacks maybe, that you can like see the whole top of the foot, and it's just like the cloth around the outside. And
Nice.
he was wearing those. He's like, "I'm so glad DCSO didn't see me." We, we laughed all the way back from the county all the way back to the city. It
That's
was the funniest
funny.
thing ever.
That's hilarious.
It was fresh in my head. So
Yeah, that's fun. That's funny. Um, you said you talked about I talked about popping all four of those tires. So since you have been driving the heat unit, we actually have renamed that the Yeet unit. So
yeah,
I don't know. Hopefully that'll catch on, and maybe we can replace the decal on the side to say Yeet unit or something. I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe put my name like above the door or something, you know?
Yes, and that's the one that you drive is the Yeet
Yeah,
unit. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
totally down for it. I'm totally down for it.
I mean, I don't think there's a night I've driven it that I haven't crashed, to be honest. I'm gonna be straight honest with you right now.
All right, so I got some questions coming in. The mods are putting some questions in here. So Sheriff Caden asked you this: what do you think about the Blue Demons? What are your thoughts about the Blue Demons?
They're a roadie bunch, but to be honest, I get along with all of them. You know, I don't care if they're a hardcore criminal or, someone that stays out of trouble. I try to make that connection with everyone
Yeah,
within the city. I'm going to treat them with respect as long as they treat me with respect. And I got to say, hats off to the Blue Demons, because most of them, as long as you don't mess around with them too much and, give them a lot of trouble and whatnot, they'll treat you good. B Hawk, I call him my what do I call him now? I forget now. I'm thinking of it. Um, my favorite criminal or something like that. I don't know, but they're usually pretty good. They'll if you treat them well, they'll treat you well back, and I think that's a big thing, within the community. Treat people with respect.
yeah,
If you give someone respect, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna give you respect back.
no, 100%.
There'll be always be those some people that won't, but at the end of the day, that's what you got to do.
No, absolutely. And I think to me that's one of the coolest things about the community is the community aspect of it. Is just obviously there's RP and all that kind of stuff going on, but then those same people you're fussing in RP in Gen Chat. They're joking, cutting up, all that kind of good stuff. So that community part of it is a really cool part of the game.
Yeah.
So, all right. So they asked that. All right, here we go. Uh, what was, what has been? All right. Commander asked this. Commander 0556 says, "What was the most influential experience in your time in TARP? Like as far as like influential, like important time. What was that? Anything stick out to you?
Not really. I mean, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
I'm sure there's something, but so much happens every night that it's hard to keep track of a lot of things. You
Yeah,
know.
and we talked about that earlier today when you and I were chatting. Was you have all this memory, like all this stuff has happened, but then when someone says, "Yo, tell me this," you're
Mm-hmm.
like, I got
Yeah.
nothing. I got nothing. But you
Yeah.
have this memory bank of things that have happened. Obviously, if you spend like 5 minutes in the city, somebody's getting shot, somebody's getting,
Oh yeah.
chased down. You go see a car accident, somebody's gonna
Yeah.
fly out of a vehicle. Whatever it is, something's gonna happen.
Mainly, it's just Ricky flying out of the vehicle, but
Just Ricky. Yeah. Hey, tell that. So you call Ricky. You have a name for Ricky. What is that? What is that?
uh so lately I went up to a call. We're actually in a pursuit one night in the city. Um, he hit a panic button, so we lost eyes on the guy. So we swing back, and he was laying in the middle of the road. And I said, Ricky, I said, as much as you go through the windshield, I said, your new nickname is Windshield Ricky, and that's what I call him. Every time I see him in the city, it's not Lieutenant, it's not Ricky, it's Windshield Ricky. It's
Nice.
just one of our little side joke connection type things. You know,
I got you. All right. So, all right, tell me this, and I'm getting this question a lot. A lot of people are asking a version of this question, so I'm going to ask it this way. As far as interactions with people in the city, criminals, police characters, like who? Obviously, you can interact with a lot of people, but like if you could choose someone that you just interact with on a regular basis, who is that? Like for you, who do you feel like you vibe with the most when you're RPing with this character or this group of characters? Anybody?
Man, I see a lot of people. I got a lot of favorites in the community. Um, for the most part, the community's got a great group of people in there, RP wise and whatnot. Um, person I see the most, it's obviously the LSPD guys I see the most. But
Sure.
for criminal wise, someone I really enjoy, and every time I hear their voice, I laugh. It's his name is Guy. I'm not gonna give away who it is,
Yeah.
but his name is Guy. He runs around with a yellow shirt. He has like kind of a little squeaky voice. And every
Yeah.
time he talks, you can be in an interrogation with him, and you just can't talk because you're just laughing.
Yeah.
Just the way he talks with that voice, it's funny. But um, I really enjoy most people within the community. I
Yeah.
mean, there's always every night there's 5 or 6 different people that I enjoy talking to and whatnot like that. I usually try to take time out of my night and actually sit down or stop on the wherever someone is and actually chat with them, see how they're all doing, whatnot like that. And I know it was brought up once, but I do enjoy talking with the Blue Demons. Especially B Hawk. Every time we chat, we just kind of kick it off. You know,
Yeah.
it's easy to talk with them and whatnot like that. Um, so yeah, I mean,
Who's the most challenging criminal to arrest right now?
it's definitely Robin.
Okay. All right.
Every time I try to arrest Robin, my blood just boils a little bit more.
Okay. All right. You know, I think Ricky said the same thing. I think when we were interviewed, he said the exact same. I think something very similar to that. If I'm remembering correctly, it was very similar to that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very cool. All right. So tell me this. What is? Hold on. How does it feel to have the Jersey Boys, John Smith and Jefferson Daniels in LSPD now?
Man, it's like a family reunion. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, and those are new transfers over. They were
Yeah.
in BCSO and they just came over. We were like DJ Khaled the other day. Like every time I turned on Discord, it was like another one, another one. We were just raking them in, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, um, John Smith and I, we went through the same training process at BCSO. We got hired at the same time. I kind of knew John in a different persona from the fire department. He was on the fire department as well when I was there. So it was kind of cool to come from one department to the other, and start with the same person. So he started at BCSO the same time I did. I transferred obviously to LSPD, and yeah, the other day they both transferred down. So we're happy to have them and whatnot like that. Kind of get the ball rolling, get some active people in there, and
Yeah.
get some people out on the streets.
Yeah. Hey, you and I both agree on this because we talked about this, and I'm just going to say it, and I meant to say it a second ago when you were talking about the guy character and his squeaky voice. Can we just go ahead and petition Pedro Chimichanga Chalupa Lopez to go back to the squeaky voice? Like,
Yes.
what's he thinking, bro? Like give it to him, man. Let him know about the squeaky voice. Let's go back to that.
Yeah. So I mean, the squeaky voice, from him going to from the squeaky voice to what he is now, I can barely even tell what he's saying.
Exactly.
Like I gotta listen very quietly, and then you got the radio in your ear that's on volume 100. So you
Exactly.
can't hear what he's saying. You got to turn your radio off, listen to him. Yeah, he's definitely got to go back to the squeaky voice.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
he was a
Pedro,
funny he was a funny dude to be around when he had the squeaky voice.
Yeah, no, he was quickly becoming one of my favorite
Yeah,
people to interact with.
yeah.
Just
I
listening
always,
to him talk was hilarious.
I always knew it was him. He had the gray hair just on the top,
Yeah,
the side shave. I could point him out a mile away, and I knew, hey, That's Chimichanga, whatever it was, Chimichanga Chalupas Lopez or something along those lines.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it's funny. The first night I pulled him over and he gave me his ID and I said, "What is this for a name?" I just had to think for a second. I'm like, all right. I called it out to dispatch and they're kind of coming back, like chuckling a little bit, you know. But yeah, it's definitely gonna go back to the squeaky voice.
No, 100%. I think that's got to happen. So I don't know if he's in here. Oh yeah, there he is. Nah, fam, you gotta switch it. You gotta switch it up, bro. I see you in there. It's got to change. All right, one more question. I'm gonna ask one more question from the chat questions that are coming in, and then I want to kind of wrap it up with one final thought. When you, as far as like chasing criminals, so Robin is the most difficult criminal to chase. But if you're in a like a car chase with someone, and you're in the Yeet unit, who is it? Who is it that's the most challenging? Like who is it? Like is there like one particular person you're like, bro, I'm not even chasing this Joker. I'm not. It's not. I'm not even about that life. Anybody like that?
Yeah, hands down. So there's this one guy. He'll come in once in a while, different personas, whatever like that. And like I don't want to chase him. Like, well, he'll see me and he'll fly by me. I'm like, not even worth my time of day. So I'll get in the pursuit, and 30 seconds later, I lose him.
Nice.
Um, so yeah, it's ridiculous. Or I crash, obviously. I mean,
I got
nine
you.
times out of 10, I crash.
I got you.
Um, but I think my problem is, within pursuits, I'm trying too hard. I'm trying to focus, try and talk on the radio, got all these things going on, and I'm not paying attention.
Yeah.
Um, I think the biggest thing is I just got to slow down. At a certain point, they're gonna mess up. I don't care who it is that's driving. You chase them around the city all night and you stay with them, they're gonna mess up at least once.
Yeah.
We all do it. So,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. Hey, well,
yeah,
listen. Anytime you get in a police chase, man, just jump in a Nighthawk with us. You get that courtesy sniper out of the. Every time you fly with us, we're giving you a courtesy sniper just every single time. So you just jump in there and fly with us, bro.
yeah. You don't want me to fly that either.
Nice. No, you don't want me to fly it either. I'm letting Ganker fly. I'm gonna run the camera. You
Yeah,
don't. You definitely don't want me flying it. That's for sure.
I'll sit in the back.
Exactly, exactly. All right, hey, let's kind of wrap it up with this thought. And I like this question. I think it's a good question. Let's say that you have the opportunity to share with someone about TARP. Like I don't, you're in a scenario, somebody's looking, they're interested, and you get the opportunity to like make a sales pitch for the community. What are you telling them? What are you sharing about the community to them? It's something that if you're in this chat, you're pretty much a part of this. It's something that we all love, but someone that doesn't know, what are you sharing with them that's like, yo, come jump in here with us?
Yeah. So, um, the biggest thing for me, and I'll tell this to anyone, it's a family oriented server. Everyone in this server, I don't care who it is, it's a big family. Um, and it's a lot of fun. So, what I would tell that person is, you ever had a long day at work? You want to go home and relax? That's the server for you.
Yeah,
When you log into the server every night, you're gonna have some type of fun. You're gonna laugh. You're just gonna relax and let loose. Um, Obviously, there's better times than others to let loose, but um, for the biggest part, um, anyone within law enforcement, I think this would be the server for them. I mean, there's a lot of law enforcement within this community, public safety, whether it's dispatchers, firefighters, EMS, police, and for a lot of them, it draws them in because of um, Tony's message. Same with civilians. Tony's message means a lot to myself and a lot to other people. And that's what I strive for within the community as well. Bridging that gap with, just the civilians in the server. Um, but I mean, I'll just tell them that it's a very family oriented server. Everyone, for the most part, gets along. It's a good time and you can just relax. And
yeah.
that's why I'm here. I don't know about other people or whatever like that, but when I get in the server, I'm in my own world. I
Yeah.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think too, and that's something else that we talked about before just in our conversation getting ready for tonight was, you were saying, man, I'm nervous. And a lot of that's because you just kind of get to, regardless of what's going on around you, like what's happening in IRL, you kind of get a break from that for a minute. And you get to come in and you can wreak havoc, you can uphold the law, you get to do that with people that are like-minded, they have like interests, and it just kind of gives you a break for a minute from all the other stuff that's going on. Because obviously when you cut the game off, you're going back to life and all the
Yeah.
things that are with that, and that's always a good thing and that's a bad thing. There's always good and there's always bad in that, but that is one of the cool things. It's just for a brief moment in time. For some people, it's a couple hours of time, but for a brief
Yeah.
moment of time, you get a break and you kind of get to go in and get to be this other persona, and
Yep.
so that is refreshing. I think it's a good escape for a lot of people.
Yeah, man. I mean, I agree with you. Every time I got have a bad day, no matter if it's at work or on the weekend and dealing with stuff, and I count down the hours until I can get in. Jump on my computer, jump on the server, just relax and let loose.
Yeah,
It,
absolutely.
it's weird, but I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chief, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you taking some time and hanging out with me, man.
Not a problem, man.
We made it. You can
Yes, sir.
relax. You can breathe. We made it, brother. Hey, man, thank you so much, man. All the love in the world. I appreciate all the work that you're doing. I know that you put in tons of time in the community and in the department, the LSPD department that I work in. So, man, I appreciate you, bro, and much love to you.
Not a problem, man.
All right,
I
buddy.
really appreciate your guys' hard work as well. So
All right, bud. Hey, have a good one, sir.
you as well.
All right, man.